All right, so could Nilou be good again? Now, let's talk about what Nilou does, because she is a old character at this point. Yeah, now you feel old because she is old. She is 2 years old, basically. Let's go ahead and talk about it. So Nilou is a character who massively buffs Bloom and your character's EM. 400% extra damage onto Bloom cores. So yeah, Nilou is a character who buffs Bloom damage by 400%. That is utterly insane. No matter how you skew it. That's great. And especially with the level 100 characters coming out, this is going to be really strong. So yeah, that's one thing. And now the reason why she may be good is because we have Lauma coming out, who is also going to be buffing Bloom damage. And because Nilou was shown to be on Lauma's team, I am more inclined to believe that it is actually going to end up being that Nilou and Lauma can work together, so pretty good. Now, if I remember correctly, it is Kokomi that triggers all the Bloom reactions on this team that I'm trying to use, so I'm gonna assume that that is how we're gonna go with this. I honestly, it has been so long since Nilou's been relevant, I haven't really cared to check. So yeah, I'm gonna keep the HP sands, but in terms of build, 585 Elemental Mastery, and that's not including Nahida, who is also gonna buff her Elemental Mastery by 200. We're gonna be looking pretty good. So let's go ahead. I probably, should I even use Cole? I honestly don't know. But yeah, 34. Oh yeah, we're not gonna use Cole. It'll be fine. We'll just use Kokomi. Yeah, so we could see 34, 35. That's the kind of Bloom cores that we're doing. Yeah, we do need Cole, right? Yeah. I was hoping that Nahida's Danger application would be a little better, but apparently not. No. So we did see though that it was very, 30,000, like that was pretty good. 30,000 damage, not bad. So that's 30,000 damage AoE. Now, is there going to be a new DPS? Because let's go ahead and do a Nevi team here real quick. So with the release of Columbina, it is very likely, well, not say very, but it is likely that we end up seeing that she's actually a DPS just like Mavuika, and she's also a support. So Columbina can easily probably fit onto this team as a DPS role, and maybe it is possible that in Columbina's kit, it's just like, does not take damage from Lunar Bloom. I wouldn't be surprised. I would not be at all surprised if it's just like simple text of that. And then that would make this team so much more digestible, so much more easy to use, so much more better overall. So let's go ahead. You can see this. You were seeing 29,000 Bloom damage, right? This is on, non, necessarily high EM character, right? This is, I believe, my Nevi is proccing this. And oh my god, not necessarily high EM character, but you have 697 EM. Well, guess what? There's a lot of EM buffs on this team. Let's go ahead, and I'm going to wait 10 seconds, and we're going to see how much EM my Nevi actually has. So my Nevi actually has 106 EM. Yeah, that's, this is just a normal Nevi build. Nothing, special about it. Just a normal Nevi build. So, what is the reason for this? Well, it's actually not even just 106. My Nevi is actually lower than that. However, Dendro Resonance, by having two Dendro characters, very much so, is what is in effect here. And I believe Dendro Resonance, let me check. I believe Dendro Resonance gives 60 Elemental Mastery. So, no, Elemental Mastery increased by 50, and after triggering, Burning, Quicken, or Bloom reactions, all party members get an extra 30, but we don't have that active right now. And then, another. You can get upwards of 80, Elemental Mastery just off of that, but we don't have that active, so we're just getting 50 right now. So, 56 Elemental Mastery is actually what my Nevi's at. And, yeah. And then we have 250 from Nahida right here on her passive talent. So, that's 250. And then we have Nilou's weapon, which is giving a lot. I honestly, hold on. I'm just going to redo the test, and I'm just going to look at what is what. I don't know how much, Nilou's weapon is giving, but there we go. And it is giving a total of 151. So not bad. Then you add 250 on top of that, and then we also have, extra Elemental Mastery a little bit there. Oh, it must be Cole's Constellation somewhere, right? She must give Elemental Mastery somewhere on this. Yep, all nearby party members get 60 Elemental Mastery, and yeah, that would, end up showing what the number we saw, right? We got to the number we saw with, all the buffs active. Yeah, it's a lot. It is. There is a lot of EM buffs going on here. So at what point do you even have to build an EM on this team if you wanted to use it correctly, right? I mean, Lunar Bloom, guess what? It's also not just based on EM, right? So we're going to see Nevi's, 51% crit rate, 300% crit damage actually matter on this, I'm assuming. I assume it works like Lunar Charge. Kill me if it doesn't. I don't, but like, I imagine that's what's going to happen. So yeah, we don't even have to build EM on here. So Nilou, I feel like, has a really good chance with Columbina being a DPS. Possibly. And then also just Lauma coming out, we could see Nilou have a huge resurgence and actually be useful, I would say. Like, there is a chance, depending on, certain circumstances that, Ayano is also a character on this team, right? So we go Lauma and then Ayano. We would have to see what that would look like, but artifact sets are a thing, and we'll have to see what the artifact sets look like. But, actual full details for the artifact sets. I imagine we're going to want Ayano on the team. Just imagine. So yeah, there's not really much else to talk about though, honestly, because it just is straightforward. Lauma's coming out, and Nilou is literally just Lauma from 2 years ago. That might sound insane, guys, but Nilou and Lauma, kind of the same character, probably. If we look at, Lauma's kit, probably gonna look very similar. Just maybe Lauma is a little less restrictive because she does every bloom reaction, I believe. I think it's every bloom reaction. She has Burn Geom, she has regular bloom, she does hyper bloom. I think she's everything. So we'll see, Lauma couldn't be that, Bloom isn't even her best team, but I think it is her best team, just judging by the way that they showed it off. They treated the other reactions sort of like an afterthought. It'd be weird if that wasn't, I could see them being like, oh, Bloom actually gets upgraded by 700% and Hyper Bloom is 200%, right? She buffs all of them, but she buffs Bloom a lot, right? I could see it, giving the advantage to Bloom. But I am excited though, because Nilou is a character that I did like, and I did, like using her a very long time ago. But the issue is her reaction fell off. It was not very, usable. And it is important to note that Bloom itself is an AoE reaction. So it'll be interesting to see how it goes in Stygian. I'm not really looking for this character to be anything, huge in Abyss, because realistically, Nilou can still work in Abyss. That's as simple as I'll say it. Lauma, I'm excited for, mainly because I think this is a great thing to have characters just actually resurge, because guess what? Nahida hasn't really been useful. Mualani is the best case for Nahida being useful, and in that case, you just use Sucrose. You just use Sucrose. It's not that hard. Nahida, sure, 250 elemental mastery and burn, but if you just use Sucrose, even just getting the EM buff is pretty good. You get the EM buff and then what is it, the Res Shred on top of it. Yeah, it's very hot in my room. It's very hot, so yeah, I'm trying to end this video as fast as possible. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.